Welcome, everyone, to the Silent Temple. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into a topic that has the potential to transform your life: the power of silence in psychology. In a world filled with constant noise, buzzing notifications, endless chatter, and the hum of daily chaos, silence often feels like a forgotten art. But what if I told you that embracing silence isn't just about quieting the outside world? It's a psychological powerhouse that can sharpen your mind, heal your emotions, and even strengthen your relationships. Over the next hour, we'll explore the science, stories, and strategies behind this incredible force. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of silence, stick around, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join our community at the Silent Temple for more insights into mindful living. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is silence in a psychological context? Silence isn't merely the absence of sound. It's a deliberate space where the mind can process, reflect, and recharge. Psychologists have long studied how silence affects our brains. For instance, research from the World Health Organization highlights noise pollution as a major stressor, contributing to anxiety, high blood pressure, and even cognitive decline. In contrast, periods of silence can lower cortisol levels, the hormone responsible for stress, and promote the release of feel-good chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. Imagine your brain as a busy highway. Noise keeps traffic jammed, but silence clears the lanes, allowing thoughts to flow freely. One of the most fascinating aspects is how silence boosts creativity. Think about great inventors like Thomas Edison or artists like Picasso. They often retreated into quiet spaces to let ideas percolate. A study published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that participants exposed to moderate ambient noise performed worse on creative tasks than those in silence. Why? Silence allows the default mode network in your brain, the part responsible for daydreaming and innovative thinking, to activate without distractions. If you've ever had a breakthrough idea in the shower or during a quiet walk, that's silence at work. It's like giving your mind permission to wander and connect dots that noise would otherwise scatter. Now let's talk about silence in communication. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful speakers use pauses effectively? In psychology, this is called the power of the pause. It builds anticipation, emphasizes points, and gives listeners time to absorb information. In negotiations, silence can be a tool of influence. A classic example comes from sales psychology. After making an offer, staying silent often prompts the other party to fill the void, revealing more than they intended or even conceding. Therapists use silence in sessions to encourage clients to explore their thoughts deeper. Carl Rogers, the father of humanistic psychology, emphasized unconditional positive regard through attentive silence, creating a safe space for self-discovery. But silence isn't always comfortable. Many people fear it because it forces confrontation with inner thoughts, a phenomenon psychologists call introspective discomfort. In our hyper-connected society, we're conditioned to avoid this through constant stimulation. Yet overcoming that fear can lead to profound growth. Mindfulness practices, rooted in psychology, teach us to sit with silence. Jon Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness-based stress reduction program incorporates silent meditation, showing reductions in symptoms for conditions like depression and chronic pain. Participants report feeling more grounded, as silence helps rewire neural pathways for better emotional regulation. Shifting gears, let's explore the historical roots of silence's power. Throughout history, silence has been revered in various cultures. In ancient Greece, philosophers like Pythagoras required students to observe years of silence before speaking, believing it cultivated wisdom. In Eastern traditions, silence is central to enlightenment. Take Buddha, for example. Siddhartha Gautama, who attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in profound silence. His teachings emphasize noble silence, where one refrains from unnecessary speech to foster inner peace and compassion. Buddha once said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." This ties directly into psychology. Silence reduces verbal conflicts and promotes empathy. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Buddha's approach to bringing peace. Drop a comment below sharing how his wisdom on silence resonates with you today. Building on that, modern psychology echoes these ancient insights. Neuroscientists using fMRI scans have observed that silence activates the hippocampus, enhancing memory formation and learning. A 2013 study in the journal Brain Structure and Function found that 2 hours of silence per day prompted new cell growth in the brain's memory center. This is huge for students or professionals. Imagine studying in silence leading to better retention than with background music. Silence also combats burnout. In workplace psychology, quiet quitting isn't just a trend, it's a subconscious cry for mental space. Companies like Google incorporate silent rooms to boost productivity, recognizing that constant meetings drain cognitive resources. Let's delve into the therapeutic side. Silence plays a key role in trauma recovery. In eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, or EMDR therapy, moments of silence allow the brain to process traumatic memories without verbal overload. For anxiety disorders, exposure to silence through biofeedback techniques helps regulate the autonomic nervous system, slowing heart rates and reducing panic. Even in group therapy, structured silence fosters a sense of unity, as shared quiet builds trust without words. If you've ever felt calmer after a silent retreat or even a quiet evening alone, that's your psyche thanking you. Of course, silence has its dark side in psychology too. We can't ignore that. Prolonged isolation can lead to loneliness, as humans are social creatures. The silent treatment in relationships is a form of emotional manipulation, studied in attachment theory as avoidant behavior that erodes bonds. But the key is balance, intentional silence versus enforced quiet. Psychologists like Susan Cain, author of Quiet, The Power of Introverts, argue that society undervalues silence, favoring extroverted noise. Introverts, who thrive in silence, often produce deeper work, yet they're pressured to conform. Embracing your natural inclination towards silence can lead to self-acceptance and higher life satisfaction. Now for some practical applications. How can you harness the power of silence in your daily life? Start small. Dedicate 5 minutes each morning to silent reflection. No phone, no music. This sets a calm tone for the day. In conversations, practice active listening by pausing before responding. It shows respect and often leads to more meaningful exchanges. For stress relief, try a silent walk in nature. Research from the University of Sussex shows that natural silence lowers blood pressure more effectively than urban quiet. In parenting, using silence instead of yelling models emotional control for children, per child psychology studies. Let's expand on meditation, a cornerstone of silence's psychological benefits. Transcendental meditation, popularized by psychologists, involves silent mantra repetition, reducing anxiety by 48% in some trials. Vipassana, meaning insight, is a silent retreat practice where participants observe noble silence for days, leading to heightened self-awareness. These aren't just spiritual, they're backed by science. Harvard studies show meditation-induced silence thickens the prefrontal cortex, improving decision-making and impulse control. Silence also enhances emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman's model includes self-awareness, which silence amplifies by allowing introspection. In romantic relationships, couples who incorporate silent dates, like walking without talking, report stronger connections as nonverbal cues become more prominent. Psychologically, this builds attunement, where partners intuitively understand each other. Diving deeper into cognitive psychology, silence aids problem solving. The incubation effect describes how stepping away into quiet allows subconscious processing. Einstein credited his theories to silent contemplation. In education, silent reading outperforms aloud for comprehension per literacy studies. For ADHD management, silence reduces sensory overload, helping focus. Culturally, silence varies. In Japan, interval, values silence in art and conversation for harmony. In Western therapy, it's used to draw out feelings. Bridging these, global psychology promotes silence as a universal tool for well-being. Personal anecdote time, though I'm drawing from common experiences. Many report epiphanies during silent moments, like realizing career changes or mending relationships. Silence strips away distractions, revealing truths. For mental health crises, silence